Good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you for joining me here for Conversations with Taz as we continue to explore the Kirk Conspiracy. And we're into the change in Erika. Oh, where to begin? Where to begin? Where to begin? Let's begin here.
Erika Kirk just released the lineup for Turning Point USA's America Fest. This shit must be like Coachella for conservatives. Look, you've got all of America's favorite fascists turning out to Phoenix, Arizona for this totally necessary event. Look, JD Vance will be there, Erika Kirk, Tucker Carlson. Hey, is that Steve Bannon? I thought he was busy partying with that guy Jeffrey Epstein. Trump Jr. is going to be there. Lord knows we need to hear what he has to say about politics. There's our favorite CIA plant Tulsi Gabbard. Megyn Kelly's still around. Jesse Waters is going to be there. Look at this. Vivek Ramaswamy is going to be there. Remember he was leading Doge with Elon Musk? Yeah, that turned out to be a great success. Now he's running for governor of Ohio, and he doesn't care that everybody in this organization hates him because he's brown. I mean, the guy to the right of him, Matt Walsh, literally says we need to stop letting brown people into this country. But man, this lineup's got everything. Benny Johnson, Tom Hooman, Chicago Cubs third baseman Matt Shaw, Russell Brand. But all jokes aside, folks, this is a far-right fascist propaganda rally, and everybody going really hates our country.
Because nothing says honoring free speech and Charlie Kirk by assembling the white supremacy Avengers. But we know that Turning Point USA is not about freedom of speech. It even says so on their website, what they stand for. But we've already discussed that previously. Let's get into the nitty gritty of things. Because, you know what? Take a look at this yourself.
Four and a half hours later, I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm totally fine, and I'm sorry. I was going to do a show for you guys this evening, but I am truly exhausted. Very productive conversation. I asked every single question. I mean, from Egyptian planes to Turning Point USA faith, and I was very surprised by some of the answers that I got, and I think they were also very surprised when I shared certain intel. This probably should have happened a very long time ago, but I wanted to let you guys know that I am alive, and I will have the full rundown for you guys tomorrow of what transpired. And yeah, I think it was definitely a very big step in the right direction. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Let's get into what led up into this sit down between Erika Kirk and Candace Owens. And I'm going to reserve a lot of what I think until I get information on what Candace is able to share. I'm kind of predicting there will be a shift. I don't know if they BS'd her or paid her off. I don't know. But let's get into what led up to this.
A Turning Point USA staffer took a man's daughter after he refused to have relations with her in exchange for a job. This story is unbelievable. Her name is Jeanette Garcia. She's an Avondale City Councilwoman. She allegedly harassed a male employee she supervised at Turning Point USA during a post-election celebration last year. Then she took off with his 14-year-old daughter after he left the gathering to escape her advances. Garcia, who of course denies all wrongdoing, is also accused of misleading sheriff's deputies to facilitate the alleged kidnapping. She told this guy she could offer him a job at the the conservative youth organization in exchange for relations. The man, who's going by John Doe in the court filings, had been employed by TPUSA to promote its preferred candidates in state and federal elections and reported directly to Garcia. He repeatedly denied her advances, the lawsuit states. But then Garcia's behavior became more aggressive and explicit due to excessive consumption of alcohol. This caused the man to leave the restaurant just after midnight, but when he arrived home roughly 45 minutes later, his daughter was gone. After looking at a friend's house, he encountered some sheriff's deputies who told him his daughter was safe and that she was with Garcia. According to the lawsuit, Garcia and 2 other adults manipulated this teenager into Garcia's car by falsely telling her they were concerned her father had been drinking and might become violent. The father claims his daughter was taken without permission or consent, and that deputies were complicit in the removal. Thankfully, she was returned home the next day after her grandmother called Garcia and arranged a meeting. This whole ordeal left his daughter depressed and terrified to leave her room, even impacting her schoolwork. This really shows what happens when chaos and extremism is normalized in certain political circles. Turning Point USA is filled with some terrible people.
Now learning that advertisers actually stayed away from it. I'll have the reporting for you. I have one clip. I'm only going to show you one clip from the Erika Kirk town hall because we don't need to give this woman any more clout, but the internet is specifically reacting to this clip. I'll give you the clip and these reactions. And then Erika Kirk actually made a shock announcement literally moments ago that I'm going to bring to you, and we'll talk about it. First, let's get to this reporting. This is Variety saying that big advertisers were wary of the CBS News Barry Weiss town hall format, and here is the reporting. They say this: direct response advertisers typically pay lower prices in exchange for allowing TV networks to put their commercials on air when convenience allows. A flurry of the ads appearing in one program usually offers a signal that the network could not line up more mainstream support for the content it chose to air. So we had direct response advertisers, but they didn't have the big ones. As it explains here, the more moneyed class was evident during the first commercial break, appearing in the 9 p.m. hour on CBS, a rebroadcast of a 2024 episode of 48 Hours. Marketers appearing include Amazon, Procter & Gamble, Ferrero Group. One direct response marketer, Operation Smile, a nonprofit medical service organization, also appeared. CBS's news ability to line up sponsorships for the town hall may be critical if the network plans to air more hours tied to the new format. So this thing was a ratings loser, and it didn't even make money. And you're about to see why, because this shit was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. I shared this clip and I just said it is impressive how bad she is at this. Now, this guy to the left here is actually the last person who ever talked to Charlie Kirk. As you may or may not know, Charlie Kirk was doing a debate outside. He was debating a college student. This is the person he was debating when Charlie Kirk was fatally shot. And he asked a question to Erika Kirk, and and you feel like you don't deserve the things, you don't deserve to be the next level.
Everyone else. We have to look in the mirror when you become a father, when you become a mother. How are you raising your kids? Are you taking responsibility, or are you giving them a device and saying, go down that rabbit hole? I'm trying to go to Pilates class. You can just sit in the corner and look at your iPad or look at your phone and go down that rabbit hole and see what you can learn from that instead of being a parent.
Okay. So she is more willing to blame women who go to Pilates classes and kids with iPads for political violence than the biggest perpetuator in the country, Donald Trump. Absolutely insane.
So my call to action from that is parents, step up. Do you want your kid to be a thought leader or an assassin?
Is that the only choices? What about a thought assassin? I want my child to be a verbal assassin.
Do you think our political leaders have a responsibility to turn the temperature down right now?
Well, I think everyone has a responsibility to do that, and I'm doing my part.
Okay. All right. Well, Arya? Now, she said it all starts at home. I'm going to give you a reaction to that moment. She said it all starts at home, but here's what Charlie Kirk has said in the past. If it all starts at home, this is about the guy who hurt Paul Pelosi. He's asking why that person was still in prison or in jail.
And why is he still in jail? Why has he not been bailed out? By the way, if some amazing patriot out there in San Francisco or the Bay Area wants to really be a midterm hero, someone should go and bail this guy out. I bet his bail's like $30,000 or $40,000. Bail him out and then go ask him some questions.
Yeah, so we're not going to do this shit. We're not going to whitewash this shit. Like, fuck that. That's fucked up. Someone broke into Paul Pelosi's home. Thank God Nancy Pelosi wasn't there. Broke into their home, hit him over the head with a hammer. He got to the hospital. Thank God he didn't. And you feel like you don't deserve the things, you don't deserve to be the next level. You don't think he can make it there. Let Barry Weiss be an example that if she can have one of the top editorial jobs in the country for a news organization with absolutely no qualifications for it, ask for a raise. Ask the guy out. You know, if Barry Weiss feels comfortable doing this walk and talk shtick where she's like, this is what a real reporter does. I'm a real reporter. Look at me. If she can do that with zero shame, apply for the job you really want. Okay. All right, let's move on now. Man, y'all know, y'all got mad at me because 3 months ago, when this all happened, I was like, lay off Erika Kirk, lay off her. But my opinion of her has changed she's just doing a grief tour. I don't understand it. She's just going from television show to television show, podcast to podcast, just so she can cry and answer the same questions over and over again. And I think she's not coming across great at all. And I just personally believe if you're going through something really hard, be with your family. Don't put yourself on television. Don't put yourself through this. But I don't think that's what this is about anymore. I think this is about making money, to be completely honest. I think this is about making money and maintaining power. And these are not good people. Turning Point USA, not a good organization. Okay? It is trying to make our children conservative. And not like conservative like Mitt Romney conservative, like Donald Trump conservative. I'll show you a clip of what that means in just a moment of Charlie Kirk and what he believed. She defends it, but these are not good people. And I do think what happened to her family is awful. It doesn't give you a right to try to indoctrinate our children with propaganda. But she was asked the hard-hitting question of how she can forgive someone like her husband's murderer. And I'm telling you, there's something off about her.
Is there a difference, Erika, between forgiving someone in a religious and spiritual sense, but also wanting justice for them here on earth?
No, of course. But we serve a just God. And I rest easy in knowing that. He's sovereign, but he's just. And so let the Lord handle that.
Whoa! For the editor, let's just zoom in on those eyes because her eyes told about 12 different emotions at once. Jesus Christ.
Is there a difference, Erika, between forgiving someone in a religious and spiritual sense, but also wanting justice for them here on earth?
No, of course. But we serve a just God. And I rest easy in knowing that. He's sovereign, but he's just. And so let...
Wow. Spooky. All right, now, Candace Owens, if you don't know, has been throwing up a lot of conspiracy theories towards Erika Kirk. I'm sure all of them unfounded. But one accusation she's levying at Erika that I think is true is that this is all a grift now. It's turned into a money-making operation. Her tears give her money, her tears sell books, and that's why she will not keep herself off of the television. And here was her message to Candace Owens. And again, these eyes.
Owens, okay? At one time, a friend of Charlie's, at one time, an employee of Turning Point. She has been one of the main peddlers of these conspiracies, and she is making a huge amount of money on it. She is building her business off of these lies. What do you want to say to her and the other people that are...
Erika Kirk is a horrible actress. Erika Kirk needs to shift. She can't be the crying widow forever. She has to show strength after the storm. She's trying to come off as, the final girl boss, intimidating to other women, especially women of color, and she's just horrible at it. She's not an actress.
Did I ever accuse Erika of being on Egyptian planes? When I found the Egyptian planes, I was concerned that they were following Charlie because I thought, wow, has there been a foreign government that has been tracking his events? Like maybe, I don't know, like running through the operation early, and then we broadened it when someone clued us into the fact that actually these planes have been following Erika. You just heard Tucker Carlson confirm that. I thought she'd be concerned. Instead, she's going to tell us on Saturday that she wasn't on the planes. I never said you were on the planes. Why would I think you were on the Egyptian planes? I don't think that you took off and went to Wilmington, Delaware. I know you didn't go to Wilmington, Delaware on the day of Charlie Kirk's assassination. I find that answer to be lacking. Okay. That is weird to me. It's a weird answer to give. And by the way, you can fly when you're pregnant. Even if you were on the Egyptian plane, that's a possibility when you're pregnant. So I don't understand that part at all. 2, when Barry asked her about the conspiracies and what she had to say to those saying them, Erika said, stop. No. 3, not about Candace, but she talked about Israel and said good things about Jews and how TPUSA is having Shabbat dinner. I didn't read that before we went live at AmFest. Okay. Okay. You guys, I want you to know, in addition to the fact that Charlie, in the last couple of days, wanted people to know that Mikey is fantastic and supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, and he had this whole vision, and that Rob McCoy was his favorite pastor, and that you should buy Josh Hammer's book. He also wants you to know to just be a Jew. I think we get it. We get it. Those were his last words. Okay? We get it. Just like...
Here's the thing. Erika Kirk is talking too much. Whatever she's trying to overcompensate for, whatever she's trying to cover for, whether it was her and Charlie really being on the outs and possibly separating and divorcing before his death, whether it's she knows the truth behind whatever it is, she's talking too much and she's answering questions that were never asked. She's putting out narratives that are unnecessary, but she's also not banking on the people who started following and participating in and joining Turning Point since Charlie's death. And she's definitely not banking on intellect from people who were fans of Charlie Kirk. He wasn't collecting intellectuals. Let's be honest. But also, each time Erika Kirk talks about being pregnant or she never talks about children. She only talks about her daughter as if she's only been pregnant once, as if she's only given birth once, as if she only has a daughter, as if her son does not exist, which is peculiar. It's very, very weird. And no, I'm not suggesting any type of conspiracy theory. It's just weird because usually if you have someone that only talks about one child, it's usually that boy mom. And really you're using the term wrong because boy mom, girl mom means that somebody only has sons or only has daughters. But I digress. But, you usually have that. But, let's continue.
Erika Kirk has a 1-hour town hall on CBS. Why? Well, that's the question many people online are asking when these clips came out They're going viral for the worst reason. I don't know what they think they're doing, but CBS is not making this woman look good. She looks really bad and spooky, quite frankly.
Yeah, I will never understand this obsession with putting her in front of the camera. Well, white women are the default damsel in distress. But here's the thing, she needs to garner sympathy, and she needs the general public to feel that they are in protect mode. Not just protecting her, but protecting her beautiful eugenics daughter as well. Forgetting that she's aligning herself with conservatism, with the Christian right, that are all about protecting children, but she knows that they're not about protecting all children. And the only reason that they would be willing to protect her daughter, she knows that there are creepy men that are sexualizing her and her daughter. That's what's really bothering me with this. And for those that do want to know more about the different factions that over the years historically that have made up the grand old party, the Republican Party, I did just add the Christian right to the breakdown over on Substack. All the links are in my bio, but it is a very peculiar thing. It's weird because now she's calling for the protection of her daughter, and she keeps throwing her daughter out with all of the scenarios as they love to do. But let's remember that unprovoked, this woman said that she told her daughter when her daughter asked, "Where was Daddy?" That Daddy was on a business trip with God, with Jesus, because she wanted blueberries. So who's going to protect this child from her? And these children need so much protecting that their mother isn't with them during this time. So many different ways to play this, and she's just failing at all.
Her name. As a matter of fact, let's look at the legal filings. Luigi's attorney said that the prosecution is going to argue the police had every legal right to search the book bag without a...
Oh, yeah, that's Luigi. We'll get...
Could be, they'll say we can't find a fair jury. Like, they're going to taint the jury pool. And in that case...
That's how widespread you think these conspiracies have gone.
Yes.
That's how mainstream they become.
Okay. Egyptian planes.
You
We'll
want to
count
talk
that
about
one?
Egyptian planes?
Okay. I was pregnant for 90% of those trips. Mind you, I've never, all those places they said I've traveled, I've never been. I mean, I've been, but I'm not within those states that they've...
But you even said you need to...
No, but this is, yeah, but I do on that one. Only because, from a humor standpoint, I intentionally, when I was pregnant, hid. Not because I was embarrassed, not because I didn't want anyone. Yes, we did keep it very private, but because it was a moment very sacred. I was growing a human inside of me. I was growing a human. I ever went to those places? Oh, I did, but not during those times. What time frames? Because all this time, everyone thought that the Egyptian planes were following Charlie. Then there was a pregnant woman who was sitting at home and was like, you know what, let me do some digging. And she reached out to Candace Owens and was like, hey, Candace, you got this wrong. They weren't following Charlie. They were following Erika. And then Erika's like, well, yeah, I hid, but not because I was in bed. No, you're vain. There's only two reasons. You're either vain and you didn't want anybody to see you pregnant, which understandable, or you weren't really pregnant and you were surrogate, which if that's your business, you don't have to share with anybody. Because you can't say, oh, we were afraid for our lives, because you have an increased security on yourself. You did not have increased security for your husband. The day that Charlie Kirk died, multiple people reported that their tickets weren't checked, that there were no checkpoints for security to at least wand somebody down. By her admission and multiple people from Turning Point USA, upon her getting a phone call regarding Charlie being shot, security wasn't sent to meet her. So you can't say that it was for security purposes
But once again, it's the fact that she acts like she's only been pregnant once. It's adding fuel to the fire of the conspiracy theory that either she hasn't given birth or she's only given birth once. Or that these children are just props, especially since she has not been around these children seemingly since their father died, which is highly traumatic. And the fact that nobody is saying, hey, when are you going to be with your children? Have you gotten your children counseling? How are the children handling all of this? And I'm not saying it's owed to any of us. It's just weird. Because they asked her about how many children she wanted to have with Charlie. Did she think that she was pregnant? All of these other very intimate things.
There's a lot of things that don't make sense with Erika Kirk. She's not your average girl next door. She came from money. Erika's parents worked for the Department of Defense.
She was getting involved with the government, so Homeland Security and Department of Defense.
Her grandfather was knighted by the King of Sweden. Erika also ran a non-profit called Romanian Angels, which was accused of child trafficking. What are you doing in Romania? Also, she was an actress in a music video and in the reality TV show Summer House. Plus, she was Miss Arizona in 2012 under Trump's pageant. So wait, you got Trump that's owned by Israel, Trump's team that arranged the interview between Erika and Charlie when they first met. You got Charlie that was starting to raise questions about Israel's influence on American politics. You have the youth of America that looked up to Charlie, and then you have Erika who inherits his work and is now expanding it, completely ignoring the Israel question that Charlie was raising. Turning Point USA is perfectly organized to brainwash the youth. So watch what they push and watch who benefits, because the official story doesn't add up.
Now, here's where I'm going to give some pushback. Okay. The youth overwhelmingly does not look up to Charlie Kirk. They're overwhelmingly indoctrinating the youth. Do they have high school chapters of Turning Point USA? Yes. And it's not having the effect that they want it to have, because more and more videos of how unhinged these advisors are coming out. They're not indoctrinating people. Charlie Kirk going on to college campuses was a huge joke. Most of the support that they had was not from college kids. Let's not forget the conventions that Turning Point USA put on. You had the likes of Trump, Tucker Carlson, like full-grown, middle-aged people. Now, under Erika, the potential, and you can, her narrative now, her rhetoric, is to grab hold of women. And it's looking like Turning Point is about to turn into a training ground for women to appear conservative and make their own money from it, to stack up their own bag. The indoctrination is going to be for women. They do not have overwhelming hold on children. And also, what would be the benefit of any government killing Charlie Kirk? He had no political power. He was being paid to say what other people needed him to say. He was a distraction. He was a great red pillar, but nothing more. He was a great poster child for, hey, you don't really need college. Just follow the conservative way and you too can make millions. Like, what would be the benefit to anyone for him to die? What would it change? He had no influence over anybody. Him being alive, him being dead, does what for any government? Now, him dying would save face for her. It would save face for business partners if there was anything hinky going on, and they wouldn't have to split off. They wouldn't have to create their own new entity to get to where we are now and have that jumping board that they have.
Erika Kirk cost CBS money. This is according to Variety magazine, who said originally CBS planned to run her special town hall on Sunday during prime time, but they were unable to find advertisers that were willing to advertise their products during that time slot. So instead, they moved it to the notoriously low watch time of 8 p.m. on Saturday. Unless you're a sporting event, you don't get views for broadcast television. And in return, they still could not find anybody who was willing to pay for an advertising slot. So instead, they turned to direct support ads, notoriously low-paying ads that are ran usually like Tuesdays for Price is Right, or a 50-year-old rerun in the middle of the week. Things for Gold, Super Beets, Garlic, even Chia Pets. Nothing against Chia Pets, I think they're great, but you wouldn't expect CBS to run an ad for Chia Pets in the middle of one of their most highly publicized and highly advertised town halls this year. And this is something that CBS wants to do going forward, but according to Variety magazine, every time they've delved into this type of political realm, the advertisers withdraw. And this time, for Erika Kirk, they withdrew faster than they'd ever seen before.
And this goes to all of the employers, all of the schools, they cowered down to Trump. They cowered down to people calling, going, oh, they're making fun of Charlie's death because they're not crying enough. They need to be. You didn't have to. You didn't have to do that. It was completely unnecessary. They don't have the support that you think that they're not the majority. They don't have anything to contribute. Even when they pull their money from places, when the handful of times that they've been able to boycott the right way, it didn't make a dent into anything. Because most of the time when they boycott, they go and buy something and then set it on fire. But you have to ask yourself why they are more successful. Cause people to become houseless. Cause people to become jobless. Cause people to lose scholarship. The rest, and they have a leg to handle.
You really think I'm going to be on an Egyptian plane while I am wanting to be with my In-N-Out burger and my chocolate milkshake? No.
We're going to debunk this right now. We're going to debunk this because Candace Owens replied to this question. This is what she said.
The world that Charlie and I live in is very toxic at times. Yeah. And when you are growing a beautiful child in you, I don't want to be around it. I want to enjoy eating my In-N-Out burger and my hot fudge sundae. That's what I want to do. I'm pregnant and I have 9 months to own it. You really think I'm going to be on an Egyptian plane while I am wanting to be with my In-N-Out burger and my chocolate milkshake? No, I'm not. So if you want to go through my flight log, go right ahead. It's very boring. You say I was here on this date. I have a photo in my phone to prove that I actually was in the hospital because I was having contractions. So game on.
Okay, boom. Candace Owens replied through a tweet, which is this. You really think I'm going to be on an Egyptian plane when I am wanting to be with my In-N-Out burger and my chocolate milkshake? Quote from Erika. Completely dodging the question by confronting a claim that was never made. Literally no one accused Erika or Charlie of flying on Egyptian planes, and no, you were not pregnant for the last 4 years. This is very crazy.
And keeps talking about it as if she's only been pregnant once. You only had one craving. And it's amazing that you don't give a date. You don't say, you know what, they said that I was on this plane on this date, but I couldn't have been because this was going on. And who just randomly has a picture of themselves when they're having contractions? I'm not saying that it's not possible. I'm legitimately asking a question. And going through your flight logs would do what? Because your flight logs would be for your plane. That'll be like me going, no, I didn't ride with such and such. You can check my bank account for when I filled up my gas tank. And everybody's just sitting there, yup, you're right. Like not questioning her at all, I guess. I have no idea why we're lagging so bad tonight. So we're about at the 40-minute mark. We're going to stick a pin in it here and we're going to reconvene tomorrow. We're going to start a little bit earlier tomorrow. So I will see you all here 8 Eastern, 7 Central. And we'll go through this and hopefully have a little bit more information regarding the infamous meeting between Candace and Erika, if they're going to tell us the truth about what they discussed. But as always, thank you for joining. I'll see you all.